Infertility treatments are expensive, but you shouldn't let costs get in the way of your dream of starting a family. The first call you should make should be to your insurance company.
The first question that you ask is first ask if you have infertility testing, because it is a separate carved out policy that's labeled infertility coverage. So first you're asking if you have testing coverage for infertility, and then you're asking if you have treatment coverage for infertility.
From there, ask if there's insemination coverage and in vitro coverage. Most infertility clinics will need to be paid up front and won't be able to offer a payment plan. You can always take out a loan, but make sure you do all of your research first. For example, the state of Illinois is one of about 15 states that mandates infertility coverage. All other states consider it elective. Understand, though, that there are loopholes in the Illinois mandate.
Some patients really didn't do their homework and they find out they have coverage through their spouse, but then the wife hadn't looked into her employer and finds out that she actually had coverage.
Just to give you an idea, a typical IVF cycle will run at least $15,000. Granted, IVF isn't the only treatment available, but expect to pay in the thousands. Now, the biggest risk for infertility treatments is multiples. With every multiple birth, there are risks to the babies. There is also a slight increase of birth defects. A typical baby has about a 4 to 4.5% chance of having some type of birth defect. IVF babies carry a 6.2% risk, but studies show that may not be directly linked to IVF, but an underlying condition like the mother's age. Now, a risk for the mom is something called overstimulation of the ovaries. This happens when the ovaries produce too many follicles because of the medicine. It will usually resolve itself, but it takes a couple of weeks, and it is pretty uncomfortable to deal with, and it may lead to hospitalization. Now, that happens in less than 5% of cycles. What happens in every cycle is the emotional roller coaster ride the couple goes through.
It's important to also remember that you're going through it together, because it goes to the heart of who you are. You tend to think of it as happening to you, you know? And so my husband would feel terrible as he's giving me shots every day for weeks on end. And then we would joke about the fact, you know, that he was going through it too. And I think you do sort of forget that both sides are having their own sort of experience with that process. The best advice I would give is laugh. I think that, you know, your emotions are going to be all over the place. You're going to not feel like yourself. You know, parts of the treatment aren't pleasant.
And there's even deeper emotions that can pop up when dealing with ethics. Some people are against getting help to get pregnant, so you might run into that.
What I say to people is, you know, if my eyes didn't work, I get glasses. If I have diabetes, I get medicine that helps control that. My ovaries don't work. So I you know, did the treatment available to make sure that they worked the way they were supposed to.
Chad Douglas, KHQA News, Iowa City, Iowa.